Good morning. Good morning. It's 10:54 a.m. UK time. I'm going to start in about 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes. Going to be having a look at BTC obviously today, and TRVL and alt season. Looking at a few things today, and then I'll just have a look through my charts and see if there's anything interesting to have a look at. I'm going to wait a little bit and see if anyone arrives. We're going to be starting in about 5 minutes. So if you're here, you're wondering when does it start, just fast forward 5 minutes and it starts. Okay. Until then, I'm just going to leave it on the BTC chart. Like this. And hide this shit. This indicator. Oh wow. Yeah. We have to see how this week closes. That's very interesting week candle. Doesn't look good, does it? Does it not? Doesn't look good. Could it be a bear trap? Like this one? This one's a little bit of a bear trap here. That was a bear trap, wasn't it? But that was at the lows and the highs. Looks like it's coming back to test, doesn't it? Looks like it's going to come back to test. Good morning, RH. How are you? Going to start in about 3 minutes. Alaikum salam. I went for a run today. I'm so exhausted now. Oh my god! And I've already had my protein shake, so I don't know where I'm going to get my energy from. I'm going to have to reschedule my streams because obviously when I'm doing them, I'm too tired. So I'm going to go back to El Salvador soon, I think, and then I'm probably going to do my streams before the daily close. Probably, I'm thinking I probably should do 2 hours before daily close. That way, that makes more sense in El Salvador, because the time zone there is 7 hours behind. So their daily close is about, when is it? It's about 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. something like that. If I do daily close, it'll be in the afternoon in El Salvador. That's what I'm thinking actually at the moment, because I go for my morning exercise and I come back and I'm like, shit, I'm tired. What the fuck? Oh my god. Like even now I'm just like thinking. And you know, when you stream and when you talk, you're releasing energy. It's coming from your stores. You don't realize how much energy you have to expend. I'm seeing a rising wedge here on BTC. It looks very distinctly rising wedge-ish. What time is it? It's starting in 2 minutes. It's dangerously looking like a rising wedge, doesn't it? Well, like, look at this. It kind of looks a bit like that, doesn't it? From a distance. The problem these rising triangles, especially when the price keeps on pushing the highs, is that eventually you get this kind of break and you get a rally, you get like a blow off, you get like that. That doesn't hold anymore, and then you get something like that. So the fact that we're pushing the highs, to me it suggests that we're probably going to break, push like that, whatever. Everyone's going to get bullish. They're going to be like, oh my god, look at this, this is like a rising wedge which is breaking to the upside. But they always come back. They never just go and go and go. It kind of exhausts and then it falls back, and then you get the latecomers go, oh look, it's coming back to this amazing area to buy again, breakout, and then not really. You get that, and then you get really fast. Really, it'll happen really fast. And then wherever you go, I mean, I would argue that the target for a retrace is 50%, not the golden pocket. But you just never know, huh? You just never know. It depends on how far you can push. Because let's say you do kind of go higher to 300k, but the golden pocket would be a good target, huh? It'll be all the way back down at this area. It's kind of like your best area to buy, back at 50k in the future. 50k Bitcoin would be the most amazing buy in the future if Bitcoin was able to create this kind of craziness, madness, a breakout to the top side, pump and dump, and then trap the latecomers, and then falling all the way down, bam bam bam. But that's kind of where we're at now on Bitcoin. I mean, it's very clear to see, isn't it? On a higher time frame, you can clearly see what's going on. The price is pushing. Isn't it? Logically, this makes sense here. It's about 300k. Or 400. Where else could it be? That's 130. That makes sense too, huh? 130 makes sense too, because of the way the golden pocket is. You see, hit, push. So sometimes you can extend these in the future just to see where these higher time frame fibs line up. And if you see they make sense, you see that makes sense here. Anywhere here makes sense, because you see how the 236 lines up, the 382 lines up, the 50% lines up, the golden pocket lines up, the whole thing lines up. You see the ratios on that? So this is a future ratio based on what your extension all the way up to 130, which is a correct fib extension, which is what I did before, 130. So that's why I'm still thinking we hit 130 based on these ratios. But I think we might have got a front run, to be honest with you. This high here could be a 130 front run. 122. Maybe we've hit 130 in a bizarre manner, and so maybe we push up and we go further. I don't know. I mean, other than that, that would be the next target based on these fibs. How far would you go? How would you do this? There, probably there. maybe there. About 200. Look, it's about 200. Does the timeline, the time frame you draw, make a difference to what? This actually makes a lot of sense, what I've just drawn. Assuming that this is the 382, that's the 550, that was the 50%. The golden pocket, we just smashed through it, held support and then went all the way from that pivot, and then we're pushing all the way up to 205 in the last kind of rally. Does make sense. Let me do it from this pivot here. Do you want to send me a link? Supposing you draw a fib in the daily, will differ for 1 hour. No, I don't think it differs. It's just that when you do it on the higher time frames, the higher time frame fibs are much more impactful on the way the price moves. It's just that you don't always get the instant reaction. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to play out on the higher time frame because you're talking about higher time frame fibs. So here, look, I'm looking at the monthly. Well, it takes a month. You sometimes have to wait a month to see whether there's an alignment because you're waiting for the monthly time frame candles to close and you're waiting for the price action to show you. And so that's the difference that it makes. But in terms of strength, the monthly time frame fibs are really, really strong. Really strong. Yeah. You have to pay attention much more so than the lower time frame ones. I got a message. My mum said, tea is ready. I feel like I need to go and get some tea. I'm going to tell her to bring me a glass. Bring me a glass. So we are into the kind of this area here of this extension. We hit it there and we're kind of in this area here. 1618 extension would take us to 174k. So no, anything happens. Persian tea, yeah, Persian black tea. Yeah. I feel like this is where we're at now. So we're in a kind of like a monthly rising triangle. Yeah, they're actually bearish unless you break to the upsides. No one knows how you're going to break, but because we're hitting the top once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, we're still at the top. We're at the highs. To me, that means that we're possibly trying to break to go up. The last up is going to be a pump. It's going to be a pump because that's what happens when you break. You break and you pump, and you get this kind of blow off moment. You know, latecomers get trapped because they think, wow, look at this trend line, it's good, let's just keep on going. And then that's when you fall and then fall, and then you're fucked, and you get just the fucking sell-off of the ages. And then the whole thing, the whole chart ends up looking like a blow off. Do you know what I mean? People go, oh shit, why did I take profit? Well, you kind of end up with a blow off, like a falling something, and then whatever. You start putting in volume back into this range. and then in the next market you go up, you know, and you've got a healthy, you slowly rise up again after you get a reaccumulation. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Just looking at this, to me it looks, that's like that's what we're trying to achieve, some kind of rising triangle to a blow off top, some kind of craziness that could happen in the future. That's where my gut leads me at the moment. By the end of the year, could we get a blow off? Push, push, push. Trap retail. I think that's what needs to happen, huh? Retail needs to get trapped. So anyway, that's kind of my overview. Let me have a look at the fibs. Oh, thank you, Mum. Yes. For that. How lovely is my mum? She brought me some tea. It's black tea. Can't go wrong with that. The caffeine in the black tea is very helpful. It keeps you awake. Where's my other Elliot wave chart? That's what I want to have a look. The index. I honestly feel like we should hold her, huh? One, two, three, four, whatever, 5. ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anyway, we've got a monthly pullback here. We're getting the first bit of support off a previous month high. You see that? A little bit of support forming here. Will it hold? Anyone's guess. It could hold. We have to see how today closes, how today's weekly close ends for Bitcoin. When I'm looking at the Friday close, we closed at 114265. The price of Bitcoin now is at 113,995, 114. So a tiny gap, not much forming here, not much, not something to write home about. Potentially depends on how the weekly candle closes. And what I was looking at before on Friday, if you remember, I was looking at a couple of things. This was my original idea, which was just some kind of flag. Okay. And we're kind of at the bottom of the flagging pattern. You could argue that's a little bit lower there. We have lost the range though, that's the problem. So then the other thing I was looking at on Friday was going down and possibly coming into my area of interest for a long. I was looking at the single prints. So we filled one set of single prints, haven't we? Look, see that we're getting a bounce, a little front run on the bottom of that single print, fig gap filling. Getting a little bounce off that. And we've got another set of single prints just underneath us. That corresponds with a naked point of control. So I think possibly we go down one more time just to fill. Maybe in Asia session. That's still where my mind is at, that we go down for one more attempt. An Asia session, take out that low. Maybe we can have a reversal here. That's kind of where I'm at, where my mind is at right now still. I don't know how low we'll go. It's hard to know how low we go. Maybe we're falling. See, this the thing is, before people were looking at a flag, now they're looking at a broken flag to the downside. So they're going to get quite bearish and push the price down, try and short, thinking that this is going down. And I think that's quite good, because when you look at the order flow, still, you can see on this rise from the lows earlier in the early hours of today that we've got some quite heavy absorption. Look at that heavy absorption. CVD going down, price going up. We're getting a little bit of bearish absorption now, very small amount, but just generally on this whole local range from yesterday evening when we put that low in, we're getting quite heavy absorption, bullish absorption here. The CVD is just going lower. The price is being absorbed. Today we're above the daily open, above the VWAP. That's generally considered bullish when the price is above the VWAP and the daily open. And when you combine that with bullish CVD, then your bias for today is probably bullish. Yeah, that's probably what you're thinking today. And maybe we're in a corrective to the up. Maybe all the down movement has ended and we're correcting to the upside now. It's all corrective. Yeah, it's not, we're not impulsing anywhere right now, are we? It's all corrective price action. And naturally what happens is that people have entered late and now they're getting trapped and they're closing out. So it's a little bit premature to what I had originally considered. What I originally considered was this one, wasn't it? I hoped we'd go a bit lower and we haven't done that. Now the price is coming back. I did think we could come back up, and I'll still keep this. I'm not going to touch this at all. Just kind of, it's just to keep stuff, just so you can kind of see if you're getting it or not, but effectively that's the top there. See that? And we've lost some kind of range low here. Maybe the price is going to come back and go for one more hit. I don't know when. Then we have to see what happens as the price bounces, because this bounce will be really important. Does the price continue and, you know, keep on putting volume here and then break out, or can we actually bounce and then push through? How did I have my long short? Yeah, it's kind of where I was thinking. It might not get so high, you know, so you have to kind of consider that. I'm still thinking the same thing. I'm still thinking the same thing. I'm just looking at this now and I'm thinking probably the same. Probably nothing different from what I originally imagined. We could tweak these. I'm wondering if we got a front run here, to be honest with you, on this long. But I would still take the lower long, slightly lower long, just because of the confluence and it's slightly lower. And for a squeeze up, for a pullback, we might end up in that situation where you end up in a little triangle here for a break up, not a breakdown. I'm thinking break up and not breakdown, just simply because I think a lot of people are starting to feel really bearish, and I don't think we're still there yet, because we're still not trapping a lot of people to go down. It's obvious people are still cautious, you know. That's what it looks like to me. Let's have a look at this one. So I still have a primary target of 130k, like that. Nothing's changed. And we are coming, look, we came back to this perfectly, to this 2. It's 1 to 2 of this previous fib. Look at that. Could that be it? Could that be your bounce? I think possibly we'll attack that once more. Who knows, huh? It depends if we can change market structure here, because you put in a lower low, lower high, lower low. Can the price go up and take out that high, and could we get a market structure here change for like a little inverse head and shoulders? Yeah, I mean, I haven't got any good news. I mean, it's just we have to wait and see what happens. It looks really bearish now, huh? The whole thing. It's a failed auction. And you have to be aware of a failed auction. So unless you can reverse the volume that's come in, God, I'm really exhausted, huh? I've been doing this for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm like, wow, where did the energy go? I feel like I need to go and sleep for 5 minutes. Get my power boost. Wow. How long do I expect BTC to do what? To sleep. How long do I think BTC is going to sleep? That's funny. How low, huh? I think we should find support if it goes down a little bit lower. At about 110.5, 111, 111. I think that's a good area for BTC to find support. 110, 111, somewhere there. Somewhere I have it marked out here. Yeah. But who knows? Like Bitcoin could just pump up. You know, like today we could have a strong weekly finish. That would be interesting to see actually, the weekly close, because if you, this is what I want to share with you. So let me just hide these. So maybe it is good that I do daily close streams from in the future. I have to decide. You have a previous week low there, yeah? And this could totally be a bear trap. However, that would, if the weekly close there, this candle would be a bearish engulfing candle. Really bearish, huh? It's not bullish at all. It's really bearish. You've got to be aware of that. Yeah. And it wouldn't look good. It would look bad. But if you close above the weekly, previous week low, we have to see how the week closes tonight. As long as, I think as long as the wick is grander than the body, and this is the thing, if the body is bigger than the wick, it's still bearish regardless of what happens here. You need a bullish end to this week, and effectively you need a longer wick than the body, and you need to close above the previous week low, and then that would be look like a really nice candle in the future at the end of today, at the end of the week. And otherwise, if you close here, this is, unless it's a bear trap, no one can really predict a bear trap. It's really bad candle to have here. Yeah, really terrible. Oh my god. Vladimir Chile. I feel like I need to do some push-ups or something. Just to get my blood flowing. Wow. I went for a 7-kilometer run today, and that's why I'm feeling a little bit exhausted. So let me just, we're having a really chilled session today. It's not drastically mind-wrenching. Yeah, I'm looking at it now and it's not looking good. We're getting a little bounce. Yeah. See how it ends. The ending's really important. Yeah, that's why you've got the value area high there. 7 kilometers. I know, man. Oh my god. And it was non-stop as well. And now I'm feeling it. I need to do something about my streams. I can't do this anymore. No, I can. I'm just joking. Yeah. Look at those lines. It's a good area. Bam. Shh. Who knows? Who knows? Let's just kind of chuck it here. Chili's saying I need a glass of Coke. Oh, how about some yoga? Ooh. And some breathing exercises. I don't know. All right, I'm going to go and make a tea. We'll go and get another tea. I need the tea actually. Again, it's a bit tricky. There's nothing obvious. Probably be looking for something a little bit lower. For a reaction to take us to that trend line down and then up. All right, I'm still there. My mind is still on that page. We're getting bullish CVD now, so that's the difference. That's the only thing. Maybe it's going to happen tomorrow in the Monday Asia session. Maybe. All right, guys. I have no choice. I have to take a 5-minute break. I'm not going to go and get tea. I'm literally going to lie down for 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. It's like a 5-minute rejuvenation. I'm going to hide my profile just for 5 minutes. But I'm going to go and come back and go to TRVL because, yeah, TRVL has really dumped. So I really want to talk about TRVL now. Be back in 5 minutes to look at TRVL and season. Chili, you gonna ring me? Nah, set the alarm. It's all good. All right, I'm still here, but I'm just kind of 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Is it enough? That's the question of the hour, of the day, of the moment. Is it enough? 5 minutes. I'm still here. 5 minutes. Let's say 6 minutes. Let's say 6 minutes. Let's do 6 minutes. Actually, let's do 7 because I need to go to the loo. Let's say 7 minutes. It's a pretty chilled session today. I guess that was destiny or fate or whatever it was. Call it whatever it was. We'll have to cut it out. Oh my god. All right, so I'm learning some lessons. Don't go for a long run before you do your stream. Well, at least I've got a little bit of energy. There's still some people here. It's amazing. Go over. All right, so TRVL, what is going on with you, my love? My beautiful lost treasure. The most precious one. RH, you're like, where the fuck did he go? Sorry, man. But I am nicely rejuvenated, you know, not just fresh skin, fresh soul. Yes, TRVL. The beautiful token. The one that we've been following forever. Waiting for it to pump to the moon. What is TRVL? Well, it's the native token of Dtravel. What is Dtravel? Well, it's a decentralized network of real world properties which offer short stay vacation rentals. And it allows people to search and book accommodation for holidays, for vacations all across the world. And it also allows the operators and the hosts to have their own direct booking site for free. And then when the travelers book, there's a direct transaction between the traveler and the host or the operator. And that is processed by Dtravel using technology designed and made on the blockchain. And that's basically it. That's Dtravel. So you have a real world network that's growing. And let me refresh this so we can have a look at it. So far to date, we're in 138 countries. We're in 1,198 cities. And we have live 5,321 listings of properties all the way around the world where people can actually book accommodation. And so it's quite small. It hasn't taken off yet. We haven't exploded. And to date, the cumulative GMV is $1.3 million. That's how much transaction value that Dtravel has processed to date. Okay, so it's extremely small, isn't it? It's still small. And when you go and you have a look at the Traveler app, You can go and have a look for yourself. You can see where the countries, which countries Dtravel is in. You can search for yourself. Let's go to Morocco. I honestly haven't had a look at this, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just imagining that I want to go to Morocco. I don't know if there's going to be any properties in Morocco. And lo and behold, there's 9 properties in Morocco. 9. Yeah. So right now, I can pay using crypto. I can go to their... Wow, look at this one. Lavender Oasis, $2,672 per night. Oh my God. That's a lot, isn't it? Coke at rentalwise.net. So look. Oh, something's gone wrong. Let me try that again. There's obviously a bug there, isn't there? Look at that. Powered by Rentalwise. What the hell? Koki Luxury Villas. So this is quite interesting. So it seems like they're using Dtravel but they have a very different formatted website, haven't they? I'm going to have to ask about that. It's quite interesting, right? This is the first thing. This is the first I've seen of it. Obviously, the link here doesn't work. Look. So there's obviously a bug here. And naturally, as you can see, this is still a new technology. It's just new. We're really at the beginning. And so, what's this one? $10,000 per night. Let me have a look at that one. Oh, it's the same one. Rentalwise. Look. Koki.rentalwise. There you go. Look at that. Interesting, huh? So you have the same business, the same company. You have 2 properties. One is not working. So there's a bug there. There's obviously a bug there. Koki.rentalwise, which is showing here, which it shouldn't, obviously. And you have this, you have the same business, and you click on it and it takes you to this. What is this? It's the Marrakesh Villa Ezhara. 14 guests, 7 beds, 7 bathrooms, 7 bedrooms. Wow, it's this. How many photos do they have? Wow, look at that. Can you imagine renting that out? Oh my God. It's paradise. I'd like to build something like this in El Salvador, to be honest with you. It's luxury, yeah? It's beautiful. Look at that. Look how lovely that is with this indoor court with double floors. Look at that. Beautiful. It's so beautiful. And you have this outdoor tent area. Do they have a swimming pool? Yes. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. That's so beautiful. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted, huh? The Villa Ezhara. I can't pronounce it. So this is the thing. You can clearly see that they have their own business. They have their own website. And they're using Dtravel. And now that's showing on our Dtravel app. And you obviously, this is probably another one of their businesses. Look at it. Koki.rentalwise. Look. So that one's working too. Oh, that's taking us to another one. Huh? Villa Azayatuna. Azayatuna. Let's have a look at that one. It's more like a... It's really nice, sir. They have some really nice properties. Marrakesh. Look at that. Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. I'd like to live there. That's so important. It's a lot, huh? $4,000. It's designed for billionaires. We're not there yet. Dtravel really has to, TRVL has to go to the moon for us to get to that place, to be able to rent this shit out. Okay. So yeah, so you have the Traveler app, and then you can see what's on the app in different parts of the world. You click on the links, it sends you to their website. Normally Dtravel will host it in a way where it will be their site name .dtravel.com, and then here you can clearly have a look, just like you would on Airbnb. You can have a look at their property, you can have a look at their pictures, you can have a look. Obviously they've uploaded this to the Dtravel website, or it's imported from Airbnb, and so there's a very simple import process from Airbnb to Dtravel. Most of these properties are imported from Airbnb, and so it's a really quick process. It's like a wizard, and that allows quick onboarding. But you can also, with not have Airbnb, you can just go directly into Dtravel and create your profile on Dtravel. And as you can see here, they have an Airbnb profile. So what this business has linked it to Airbnb, and the link is there. And so you can see, if you click on that link, this guy, Derek, a superhost, welcome. And he has got his properties on Airbnb. He's got 3 properties here on Airbnb. Derek's listings, look at that. He's got quite a high rating, 4.84. Not as high as me, because I'm 4.99, so I still win, Derek. He lives in Rabat, Morocco, 5 years hosting, and what he's done is he's put his listings on Dtravel, and that allows people to book his properties outside of Airbnb. And so you're effectively, what you're doing, if you do that, is you're saving on the Airbnb fees. The fees are quite substantial. They're not small fees. So you see here, this is his businesses. So his business is called Sofima Travel. Here you can't see his business, it doesn't say, but it's the same properties. Look, Riyadh, rental unit. Can you see? It's the same. You've got the same pictures. You've got the same properties. He's on Airbnb. He's on Dtravel. And the great thing about Dtravel is that now you can book his properties directly. And not only can you book his properties directly, I can contact him directly too. Yeah. So contact. There's his number, his email, his WhatsApp. I can message him on WhatsApp. Oh, another bug. WhatsApp is a bit of a buggy, yeah? WhatsApp bug. I don't know why that's not working. I'm going to have to show this to Dtravel and say, what's with all these bugs, huh? What's with all these bugs? No, it's not working. But hey, it's early, yeah? We're still working on this application. Every application has bugs, and these are just teething problems. That's Morocco. You can go back and you can have a look at other parts of the world. Let's have a look at somewhere really random. I'm not going to write Yemen, because Yemen's probably a freaking war zone. Let's have a look at South Africa. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never looked at South Africa. Let's have a look at South Africa. There you go. You see that? You've got 2 properties in the whole of South Africa. One is in Cape Town. One is in Johannesburg. And again, we're early, aren't we? So if you think that probably Airbnb in South Africa, you'll probably have thousands and thousands of Airbnbs in South Africa. And here you've got 2 people who've discovered Dtravel. And what they've done is they've decided, hey, we want a direct site. We don't need to leave Airbnb. We can have Airbnb. As you can see, they've got an Airbnb profile. And this person, look, Connell Davids, 12 years hosting. He's been on Airbnb for a long time. And this gentleman has found Dtravel, and he's decided to put his listings, one, potentially two. I guess both of those his. Yeah, he's put both of his listings, bed and breakfast in Johannesburg, on Dtravel. So these are seasoned Airbnb hosts, and now that you see what they've done is they've imported their listings onto Dtravel, and they have their own website at Dtravel. And now if people want to book directly, they've got their own website. They can give their Dtravel link. And the great thing about Dtravel is that when you book, you can pay using credit cards. And let me try it. Reserve. I haven't tried this recently. Crypto. Credit card. See that? Crypto. And you can connect a wallet. You can pay using these different cryptos. Tether, USDC, Matic, TRVL, ETH. Okay. And I've been talking to Dtravel, and they're looking at the probability, I would say, of adding Bitcoin on the Bitcoin Lightning Network to the payment method here. And that's going to really make this an amazing place to come and book properties and book travel. Okay, so that's Dtravel, that's the app. And so as you can see, we're very early, because in the whole of Cape Town you've got in the whole of South Africa you've only got 2 properties, 1 host. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to grow this real world network. And so different parts of the world, like the UAE or Dubai, you see Dubai is quite a crypto friendly place. And so naturally what's happened there is that because they're crypto friendly, they're crypto aware, their crypto IQ is quite high. If you go to Dubai now, you'll see that actually quite a lot of properties are already on Dtravel, because these people want to accept crypto. They want that freedom, and they want it in a direct manner. They don't want to pay the Airbnb on the booking.com fees. And while they might not have traffic as of yet through the Dtravel app, because it's early, and because Dtravel is still yet to explode and to grow and to come onto the world stage, like a breakout onto the world stage, you can see that there's still value for these hosts, because now they can add their direct booking site hosted by Dtravel to their business card, to their literature. Return guests that are coming back, they can add their direct booking site to their emails, to their promotion, to their marketing emails. It means you can come back and you can book the same property without going back to Airbnb. And so Airbnb charges typically about 15% plus tax. That's an additional cost, and you can avoid that. So there's real advantages here to being on Dtravel, and we're only still beginning to see the future advantages, because Dtravel is in a transition period. And this is what I've been talking about. I've been talking about the transition. And when you go back to the charts, and let's just talk about the charts for a little bit, because really that's what I'm here to do. I'm not just here to promote the fundamentals of the real world aspect of the business. I only do that because I think that there's an education to be had, and I feel that a lot of people don't quite understand the why of Dtravel and why it's valuable, and why TRVL is going to be valuable. And therefore what you have in the charts is, after the original launch, you have this crazy sell-off. Yeah, there are different reasons behind these sell-offs, you know, like that's how Dtravel initially raises capital to fund the project, and that was 4 years ago. And so naturally, with that original capital raising exercise, Dtravel has been able to build this application, this real world network, with that original capital raising exercise. And what you originally see is that capital raising movement, which is selling into the rise in price from the crypto markets. You've got a lot of speculation, and so you see there's a lot of speculation. The speculation coincides with the Bitcoin bull market, with the crypto bottoms of different periods of time, where the crypto market has kind of bottomed out and it starts to rally again. And then naturally people are very bullish on this kind of project, and what they would like to do, what everyone wants to do is catch the bottom. You know, that's what people are trying to do, catch the bottom. And the reason why is because, you know, Dtravel, TRVL has a future potential of making people multi-millionaires and very handsomely rich. Yeah. So from the previous bottom, if we were able to get to the all-time high of 1.56, that was the previous bottom, you're talking about a 7,740 or so % increase in value. That means for every $1 that you invested at the 2-cent bottom, going back to the all-time high, the price that Dtravel has traded at in the past, TRVL has traded at in the past, you'll make $7,700. It's a very lucrative investment proposition to be able to invest $1 and walk away with $7,000. That is very attractive for a lot of people. Now, where we're at, if you look at where we're at now, and if you were to invest $1 here, and we go back to the all-time high of 1.56, yeah, roughly, I'll just do there, you're looking at a almost 22,000% increase in value. So if you buy $1 of TRVL right now, yeah, and in the future, when, and I say when because it's an event, it's gonna happen, yeah. I can't tell you exactly when it happens. I just know it will happen. Okay. This real world network that I'm talking about we're in the early days, it's growing, and Dtravel is a decentralized application, and we're not going anywhere. We have a lot of interest from entities who want to take over Dtravel in a meaningful way. When I say take over, I mean they want to buy it up. Yeah. They want to invest big money. Yeah. And I can go into details about who and where, when and why and whatever, but there's a lot of big crypto investors. For them, the market cap of Dtravel is ridiculously low. Yeah, and this is, I'm just making you aware of the situation now. The market cap of Dtravel is $3.1 million. It's a ridiculously low market cap considering that Dtravel has turned over $1.3 million. Yeah, we're completely undervalued. We're crazy undervalued. Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to explain to people. And so what you're experiencing right now is a product which is really, it has a off the charts potential, and in terms of crypto, we have a 22,000% increase in value potential. For every $1 that you invest in TRVL now, you have to hold, and this is the key. This is what people are missing. Yeah, you're not going to get rich by buying and selling at 2x in 2 weeks time. That's not how getting rich works. It doesn't work like that. You have to buy and hold. Yeah, it's like early investors in Bitcoin. They had to buy and they had to hold. They have to hold. You have to hold. Hodl. You have to hodl. There's no way around it. Yeah, if you're looking at the fluctuations and you're panicking and you're selling every time and you're just like, oh fuck it, I'm done with this, I'm selling, I'm not interested, yeah, you're never going to get wealthy. You just aren't going to get wealthy. What you have to do is look at the other aspects of the project that I'm talking about, the fundamentals, the application, yeah, the properties. Go and use it. Go and book. Go and use Dtravel. Go and book on Dtravel. Try it out. Go and contact the hosts. Go on a holiday. Go on a vacation. Try it out. Yeah, and see for yourself. See how it works. You'll understand that actually this is a long hold, and you have to we have to be patient. Now, I can't tell you how far in the future this is going to reach all-time highs. Yeah, I want it to happen tomorrow, of course, because I want my YouTube channel to explode in numbers, and I want to be able to say I was right. Yeah, of course I want to do that, but one day I will do that. One day in the future I will do that. I don't really care when I do that. One day I will tell people I was right, because I was here telling you that Dtravel was and still and is a buy of a lifetime, and you could increase your value at all-time high to get to all-time highs by 22,000. For every $1 invested, you can walk away with $22,000. It's worth having some, huh? It's worth having some. That's the point. That's the point I'm making. Even if you were to buy $10 worth of Dtravel now, TRVL now, yeah, $10 worth of TRVL now, with an increase in 22,000%, yeah, you could be walking away with $220,000 just for $10. Why would, like, honestly, people need to buy some and hodl forever. Just throw it away. Just don't even think about it. Just buy some and don't even think about it. I'm not talking even about, hey, put all your investment into Dtravel. This is gonna, you know, I'm just saying, like, if people don't have any, it's, you should do it, and you should just, your exit or your target is the all-time high. And in everything in between is noise. This is all noise. Yeah, like when you're looking at the chart, really, that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying it's all noise. This is where you enter. Yeah, that's the chart. This is the fucking chart. Yeah, who cares? No one cares what happens in between. Yeah, I'm doing it for entertainment purposes, to be honest with you. It's fun, isn't it? It's fun trying to predict the future. It's fun trying to map it out, and, you know, like, we're having a little bit of a laugh. But the reality is, it's noise. It's noisy. Yeah, you're talking about an illiquid token with, relatively speaking, low volume. You know, it's going to move up 100%, 200% on small pennies. It's going to drop the same amount on small pennies. It doesn't matter. What matters is this: the entry now and the exit in the future. Yeah, and we have a very clear higher time frame target, all-time highs. Yeah, I can't tell you if it's going to happen tomorrow or the next month or the next 6 months. I can't say that. I don't know. I really don't know. I want it to happen. I'm going to make it happen as far as I can try. I'm trying my best to make it happen. Okay, I'm doing everything I can in my power. But as always, I've been involved in Dtravel for nearly 4 years now. My properties have been hosted on Dtravel now for 3 years. And it's a DAO. It's a decentralized autonomous organization. I have to persuade and convince other people. This isn't a solo project. And I have to argue my points. I have to debate. I have to make rational, reasonable, logical, convincing arguments. And ultimately, I have to win everyone to my ideas and to the direction that I'm thinking and the direction that I'm imagining the future. Yeah. Until I can achieve that, it's all noise. The whole thing is all noise. Dtravel isn't going anywhere. TRVL is not going anywhere. And if it wanted to, it would have collapsed already. At this kind of low value, Dtravel will survive. There's enough people interested in Dtravel to keep Dtravel going indefinitely as a decentralized autonomous application. But what I'm talking about is higher time frame targets, higher time frame strategies, and accumulation here for distribution here is the higher time frame trading plan. Yeah, you have to focus on the higher time frame. Yeah, don't get bogged down by the noise. Everything in between is noise. You might as well do that to the charts. Really, charting is that. One day I'm going to post this video and go, that was the chart. It was shit. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the all-time high. We will get there one day. One day we will get there. And for every dollar, you would have made $20,000 if you hodl long enough. Yeah. I don't know when it's going to happen, but that is your payday. That is everyone's payday. So that's kind of where I'm at. And so what I'm looking at now on the weekly time frame is, so we're looking at the weekly time frame. We have a weekly candle close, and we have the most volume ever in a week in this week. The most volume ever on TRVL. In the whole history of this token, we have put in the most volume ever this week. That's an achievement already. We've broken records. The previous volume, highest volume, was 411 million tokens, 0.79 million. And that was all the way back in April 22. And this week we've put in 434 million. The circulating supply is about 430 million or something. It's so we basically traded the whole of the circulating supply of TRVL this week. Yeah. And the last time we had high volume, it was a green candle. Yeah. And ever since that green candle volume that we put in, that green volume, the high green volume, the price of TRVL has gone down. That was the turning point of the chart, wasn't it? That was the turning point. That is a pattern. We've just established a pattern and an actual thing that happened in the past. And now we have the same thing, but in reverse. We have the most volume put in TRVL this week in a red candle. Again, I'm expecting this to be the bottom. I'm expecting this to now be the bottom, and I'm expecting this to now do that. I'm expecting this to be the bottom just because of the volume. I'm looking at the volume, I'm going, wait a minute, you've had the most volume, the price has gone down, but guess what? That's it. We haven't gone down any further than where we are at now. Just like the price was going up there and it couldn't get higher. The volume came in, the price couldn't get higher. That was the top. The price is cut, the volume is coming in, the price is going down. It can't go down, like it's struggling to go down. It looks like it's not struggling. You've got, again, I always talk about decreasing prices, increasing volume. Well, you have, the thing is, sure, in a sense that's bearish, but you've got so much volume coming in these last 2 weeks and you still haven't taken out the bottom of the previous week. Yeah. So with all of this volume and you're still trading in that previous week candle. That's your candle. It's these 2 weeks, they're not trending candles, they're inside candles of the previous week, of 2 weeks ago. So it's a range bound candle. With all of this sell pressure, we're still in the range. The selling is coming, we're still in the range. Yeah. If you think that this is the most volume that we've experienced in a week and we're still in the range, it's slightly different to previous volume, because previous volume you broke from the range and then the volume was taking the price down. Here we're range bound and you've got a lot of selling and we're still in the range. When you get that kind of price action, that means that people are buying. Actually, it's not selling, it's buying. People are actually accumulating. We're seeing heavy accumulation here. Really heavy accumulation. Okay. And I can't say that we're not going to take the lows again. I don't know that. I can't say that. It's always possible. But you see here on my CCI indicator, the CCI is underneath minus 100. You see that here, and you see that we've got a higher low here, and from the low which corresponds to this low here, see there, you can see that there's a bit of bullish divergence forming here. There's a bullish divergence. You're putting lower low on the CCI, you're putting a higher low on the price. That's telling me there's heavy absorption in this down move. We're getting absorbed. The price is being absorbed. Now you look at the RSI and you go, oh shit, this is bearish, because you've got this kind of RSI showing a bearish divergence. Yeah, but the reality is that actually no, over the whole range, when you're looking at a slightly higher time frame, I'm seeing quite heavy absorption in this drop, in this whole price action. Yeah, pretty strong absorption. All right, let me see if I can show you better. Yeah, this is the best one actually. The 4-hour time frame, if you look, you see that's a higher low situation, and here from where you kind of line it up and you see, actually, look at that. So on the MACD, you've gone lower from the point of reference, which is here. That's your point of reference. And on the price, you've actually ended up higher. So if there was no divergence, the price of TRVL should have followed, and this should have been like, the price of TRVL should be around here. We should have gone down to make a lower low, and we haven't done that. And so what I'm seeing is quite heavy absorption here. It correlates to my analysis that this volume, even though it's red volume, is actually bullish volume, in the same way that we experienced heavy volume here and the price didn't go up, and therefore that forced the price to reverse. We're getting the same experience here. We're getting the price trying to go down, not going down, and that's going to end up forcing the price to go up. So I really think that we're forming at the bottom here. And on the higher time frame, I'm telling you that one day in the future, I don't know when it's going to happen. I can't say if it's going to happen in this bull market. I'm working hard to make it happen. Okay. I think in crypto, everything is possible. Nothing is off the cards. I know with the leadership changes that are going to be announced very soon, that and other changes, other significant changes that are going to be announced very soon. They haven't been announced yet. I know that there's going to be a significant increase in value on TRVL, because that is bullish. What's happening is bullish. Bullish news is going to be released regularly, and they're big changes that are coming and going to be announced. I've talked about some of them. But also, I know that the new team, the new leadership, and the people who are actually going to be involved are hungry for all-time highs. They're not, I talk about modest targets, 2 cents, 3.5 or whatever, 3 cents, 5.5, 9 cents. They're modest targets. In the context of crypto, they're nothing. 100, 200%, 400%, 700%, even 1,000% in the context of crypto is measly gains, because what I'm thinking about is 22,000% all the way up to the all-time highs. And I know the team are hungry for all-time highs. I don't know how it's going to happen exactly. I have ideas, and we all have ideas, and we just have to be patient. All right. So that's kind of like, I mean, just looking at the charts, I could go into detail about this correction. I could, yeah. I could look at this and go, wait, what's happening now? I mean, I have been kind of looking at this, possibly remember I was talking about possibly a cipher on 2 days ago. Initially I was thinking it was a bit higher. I kind of adjusted it a bit. Maybe it's a bit lower. Okay. We've come into the 1.618 extension of this move. So I do possibly think this correction is coming to an end. It does correlate with Bitcoin. And when you kind of look at Bitcoin, you see, I've been talking about Bitcoin coming to support and pulling back. It looks like Bitcoin could be front running my area, and it's finding support. It could be, and actually what I'm seeing here on TRVL is that we are trying to find support. So even though we had a pretty aggressive sell-off, more aggressive than I wanted, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as we find support and as long as we put in a higher low. Because if you find support and you put in a higher low, and if you get a lot of volume, a lot of selling, and the price just struggles to go down, then naturally, when Bitcoin does finally find support, people start buying their altcoins again, what you're going to get is an explosive move. And so naturally, I'm looking for the explosive move, the next wave. Okay. Now, I was looking at this and I was just thinking to myself, did I get it wrong? It's a question that I always ask myself. Did I get it wrong? Yeah. And the thing about charting is you can get it wrong. Okay. Was that a wave 1? Was this whole thing a wave 3? Was that last thing a wave 5? Was it more like that? Was that last wave the wave 5? And actually, are we in a corrective, more of a corrective like this? It's a question. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. you can only really know after the event. It doesn't matter as long as we don't take that low, because the next wave 3, then 4 and 5 will be more like that. And I'm just looking at them and thinking, was that the first wave? And is this a corrective ABC? Are we in an ABC now? And so actually that would mean that this goes sideways and then we have another dip to form a low like that. Put in a higher low. It has to be a higher low, because to take out that low would invalidate that first wave, that first impulsive wave. There is a possibility that we're in a situation like this, and I just want to make you aware of it. Okay, but actually, because Bitcoin is now finding support, and because here I am looking at potentially a cipher, not a Gartley, a cipher, because we took out the pivot high, which is a bullish harmonic. Now, I've got the pivot coming on Monday or Wednesday, Monday or Wednesday. It could be any one of those. And how low it goes, this is the region. Yeah, this is the area. At the moment, we're at the 1.618. So there could be a nice area to find support. You could go down all the way as far as the 1 to 2 without taking the start point. That start point is a little bit of a red herring, because you could have started there to still form your cipher. Yeah. So these ciphers are a little bit, you have to play around with them. That's a bullish harmonic, but let's just say for the sake of argument, it is the 1.618 and the pivot is the 618 on that fib time. That could be it. That could be the end of your correction. Okay. And then actually that was your first wave. And this whole thing is an ABC corrective move. ABC. Yeah. And that this whole thing wasn't it wasn't impulsive. I like to think that it wasn't, you know, and the reason why is because you can clearly see impulse. Yeah. I don't know if I can see that here. I can see a little bit of impulse, ABC. Maybe that's a little bit of impulse, ABC. Was that impulsive buying? It is possible, and that's the reason why I just wanted to make you aware of it. It is possible that was another wave to form a final wave. And if you want to imagine it like that, then that means the 3 went up to there. And your 4 was to there, and that was your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which takes. So I just want to kind of put that as an option. If that's the case, then this correction is too soon. Yeah, you need a little bit of a longer correction, and that will take us probably to the 2nd week of August. Okay, this is and then this would be more like an A. It'd be more like this: A, B, and a C. It'd be a much deeper correction if that was to form. Okay, and that's why I just want to kind of raise it as a possibility, because we'll only know after the event how this plays out. As it's currently happening, we're not going to know. Okay. The question is, are we going to impulse now in our wave 3, or are we going to form some kind of B corrective here to go down for a final C, which is going to put in a higher low, and then that's going to be our next impulse to the next wave up. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out. So I just kind of wanted to kind of raise it as an option, just so people won't kind of look at me and go, Mir, you got it wrong again. What are you doing? You're misleading us. You're telling us this and it's not doing that, whatever. I don't know. Like, not financial advice, I guess, is the answer. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we are forming, this is an ABC corrective. That was your first wave. This is a corrective wave. Okay. Then that would mean, if you do a extended fib here, they're going back to the highs. That would be the 618. The 1-to-1 would be around there. See, I don't know. I don't know if the ratios are correct. The ratios don't necessarily make sense to me. And so I'm a bit kind of indecisive about this move. We have to see how this plays out. I do think, though, that as long as we don't take out these lows, you have a wave 1 in play. Yeah, that's your invalidation. And then the next wave is going to be a wave 3. The question is, where is the bottom going to be put in for a pivot? and then wherever the bottom's going to be put in for a pivot, how big is the next wave going to be? As long as you don't take out this low, it's really important that we don't take out that low. Then we're looking for a really nice wave 3, and usually wave 3s consists of really nice big waves. Wave 1, 1 2 3 4 5, ABC, wave 3, 1 2 3 4 5, ABC, wave 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So the wave 1, that's why I was initially thinking that that could be a 1, because usually the waves 1s are just like one big impulsive move. Then you have a correction, and so it's kind of out of character to have. That's why I don't think this is the 5, because the wave 1 here wasn't, it was fast, the whole thing was fast, and so naturally I would have expected this to be fast to continue for a wave 5, and it wasn't. You had a bit of a prolonged correction here, and it's kind of out of character of this original wave 1, and that's kind of why I don't think it's part of the wave 1. It's part of the ABC corrective, which makes more sense. And now we're looking for an impulsive move to form our wave 3. I really think this is more higher probability of that, and especially since Bitcoin is coming into the breakout area to find support, and we're kind of coming into the same place. So what I'll be thinking to myself is, let's just say for the sake of argument that is it. This is the bottom. That nicely gives us a 618 ratio at the previous high pivot. That would be nice. Then you have a 1-to-1, which is bringing us back into this range. That's nice too, isn't it? That's nice. You have really nice ratios here. You have the 1-2-7-2 bringing us back to that pivot high, and then going up and up and up. It doesn't really match. It doesn't match so much, but we have to see. This is TRVL. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see how the next move happens. I see that there's a lot of absorption, so I am expecting something big to explode out of these lows. I do expect that, and so naturally you could get into a situation I talk about inverse. If we do end up taking out that high, you could end up in a situation where you have a breakout inverse head and shoulders here, just like that, and that would, you'd have a really nice target of a 1.618, I would say. Then you'll put in a higher high on the weekly, and then we have to see, because if that breaks out, that's your wave 3. You could end up with a correction here with a wave 5. And if the price starts to consolidate here for a more of a flat correction, which is kind of what you want to see, that's your first wave. This is your wave 1. That's your first wave of 3. Then if you get a really flat correction here, which is kind of what you want to see, then actually what you'd be looking for is the big wave 3, which would take us to higher prices. And that's kind of what you want to get back into the range. Yeah. So there are options. There are really bullish options right now. It's always difficult when you get deep pullbacks, because people are like, well, not again, TRVL, why are you doing another deep pullback? Should I have taken profit? Again, this is all entertainment value. I keep on going back to my original assessment. Yeah. What we're looking for right now is higher time frame accumulation at the lows of a multi-year range, 4-year range, for a project which I'm confident in the future. It might take another 4 years, to be honest with you. I don't know. It's highly unlikely, because impulsive moves are not the same as corrections. If this is one big corrective move, yeah, the impulse is going to be like that. If we are going to get to all-time highs, yeah, it's not going to be as long as this correction. Okay. And I just want to make you aware of that. So it's not going to be another 4 years. And just looking at it based on fib time, let's just say this is the low. That's the pivot low. Then the 618 is May 27. So you could get, you know, that would be more likely, wouldn't it, to the 618, if that was going to happen, if that was going to play out that way. Okay. What time is it? Oh shit, it's 1 p.m. All right. So Dtravel, TRVL, definitely have a look. Go to the Telegram. Andrea posted something today. Good morning, everyone. While it's Sunday, most of the people are taking this day to rest. We use this day to build with even more focus. And this is really important. Radioactive is posting something. Any exchange is allowing to withdraw with base chain. All of it is with ETH. Will be any update about this? It's a good question. I have no idea about this. I think I'm going to wait for Andrea to answer that question. And again, you can go onto the Dtravel community on Telegram. You can have a look and you can see that we're getting more and more active, and that's kind of what you want to see. You want to see more and more activity. I think people are a little bit anxious because they've invested in this project for a long period of time and they're seeing their investment really low. But honestly, if you have a higher time frame composure, and if you're focused on the higher time frame, you're looking at 1.56 higher time frame, just wait. Just fucking don't even think about it. Just put it in your back pocket. For every dollar right now invested in TRVL at the all-time high, you will walk away with $22,000. Just think like that. That's the way to think. And so therefore, just have a target and just say, hey, wouldn't it be good if I had $1 million in the future? Yeah, it would. How'd you get that? Well, just buy enough TRVL so that at all-time high, you have $1 million and just don't even think about it. It's really that simple. That's all I'm saying. It's a really easy sum. Let me do it for you. $1 million. You need $4,500 worth of TRVL. I think. So maybe my calculation is wrong. So actually my calculation is completely wrong. It's 22,000%. So I'm not right. $1 doesn't come to $22,000. $1 comes to I guess 2,200. Because if you times 1 million by divided by 22,000%, then it gives you 4,500. That's good too. People who can be watching this video are going to go, shit, he got his sums wrong. Like he's pushing this $1, $22,000. Okay, I'm slightly wrong. It's a 22,000% increase in value. Doesn't mean $1 equals $22,000. It means, yeah, sorry. So let me just do that again. 1 times 22,000. I should have used the calculator, huh? Rather than my brain. All right. So $1 equals $220 at 22,000%. Yeah. So you have to divide it by 100. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. So that means that, oh God, I'm gonna have to fucking cut this video. I'm gonna have to scrap it or edit it. All right. I might have to cut it. I don't know, because I don't want to push out incorrect information. Using brain is good. Thank you, RH. I appreciate that. I think my brain is a bit warped, huh? So, all right. So let's just reset. So at these prices, if you have $1, you're walking away with $220. So if you want $1 million at the end, you have to divide 1 million divided by 220. So you need $4,500 worth of TRVL to walk away with $1 million right now at these prices at all-time high. And so what you're doing effectively is, let's just say you have a higher time frame perspective. You're risking $4,500. I mean, for a lot of people, that's still a lot of money, because let's just say, what's the worst case scenario from here? It's not going to happen, but the worst case scenario is that you lose all your money. right? That's the worst case scenario. You're risking $4,500 to walk away with $1 million at all-time high. This project, if look at it like this, it's like a zero-sum game. Yeah. At this price, this project can either go to zero or to all-time high. That's the choice. With projects like these are real technical marvels, innovations. Yeah. This can either go to zero and you lose all your money. Yeah. And it's a real shitter for a lot of people who are investing, but it's just a reality. Or you can go to all-time high, and there's no in between. This isn't going to go to zero because you have a real world network that's growing and growing and growing. You have a team that's hungry and passionate, and you have a community that's growing. You have people who really truly believe in a decentralized short vacation rental network where the value of the real world is translated to a token economy, where the cornerstone of that economy is TRVL. The foundation of that economy is TRVL. Yeah. So you have this situation now where we're putting in crazy volume on the weekly time frame, a red candle here, more volume than ever in a week. And ever since we put more volume ever in a week there, that green candle, the price has gone down. And now we're putting more volume in a week, and that is a red candle. I'm expecting the price to go up. I'm expecting this to be the bottom. Okay. And the next move is going to be a massive impulsive move to the upside. I'm expecting that, not to the downside, because you can clearly see that the volume is being absorbed. There's no more crazy moves to the downside because we've put in more volume to the downside, and yet the price isn't going down. There's no more crazy moves to the downside. We're at the bottom. Okay. And so effectively you're buying into a token where the downside is limited and the rest is upside. And in the higher time frame, for every $1 you invest here at all-time high, you're walking away with $220. That means if you have $4,500 worth of TRVL now, and you leave it in the future, whatever happens in the future, as long as you just leave it and leave it and leave it, one day at all-time high, you're going to be walking away with $1 million. $1 million. Okay, that's what's going to happen. We're going to be in a situation now where this could either go to zero, which it isn't, because if it wanted to, it would have already gone to zero. Okay, or we're going to go up, consolidate, go up, consolidate, kind of mess around whatever it wants to do in the future, and then eventually we're going to go up to all-time highs. That's the destination. That's the target for the upside. Okay, and really, I think that this is the most attractive investment. I think the problem in crypto is that a lot of people are like really greedy. They want to get quick gains. They're not willing to be patient. But if you look at Bitcoin, the gains, people who made the real gains, they just bought and they just never touched their Bitcoin. They just held through everything, through all of the bad press, through all of the FUD, through all of the different countries doing shit, and all of the hacks or forks and whatever that happened in crypto. Bitcoin has just held, and they didn't fucking care, and maybe they even kept on accumulating. And that's what TRVL is a higher time frame, long-term accumulation. And you get into a situation where if you just hodl, then you can turn your investment to $1 million. You just need $4,500. That's quite a lot still for a lot of people. Yeah, but you have to buy at these prices. There's no point coming in with $4,500 after a few weeks when the price is already 10x and expecting the same result. So the risk to reward ratio is now it is the best risk to reward ratio for accumulating and buying TRVL and hodling for higher. Okay, and then the strategy is long-term accumulation, and effectively what you end up with, this whole thing becomes an accumulation, a higher time frame accumulation. This whole thing becomes a higher time frame accumulation until you eventually get a breakout to the upside. Yeah, and that breakout is going to make people extremely wealthy, like super wealthy, extremely wealthy. If you're going to go up to the all-time high, you're probably going higher in a breakout situation in the future, probably. Yeah, and so this is really the moment. This is the moment that I'm kind of giving you the signal. The volume is the signal. The volume is the signal. In this week, we've had the most red volume ever. And the last time we had the most volume ever, it was a green week. And look what happened. The volume caused the price to go down. This is the most volume ever. It's a red volume. And so I'm saying that if you inverse the pattern, then this probably, the probability is that this is now going to force the price to go up. Probably because you're getting a lot of selling and the price just isn't moving anymore. It's just kind of struggling to go down. Yeah. Doesn't look like it for a lot of people, but it is. It's really struggling to go down now. You're getting heavy accumulation at these prices. People are buying back in. Yeah. And you might think, oh no, look at that red candle. It's a bearish engulfing. Look how disastrous that looks. But you're getting so much volume and the price is struggling. It's struggling to go down. It's struggling. People are accumulating at these prices. Yeah. I'm not saying the price can't always do one last shakeout. I'm not saying the price can't do that. The price can always do that. Okay. But these are the levels that people should be accumulating at. Right. That's my TRVL update. I'm not going to do an altcoin analysis because I've just run out of time. I shouldn't have slept, huh? And so therefore I'll probably do that on Tuesday. And yeah, have a good day, RH. Thanks for joining me. Let's chat on Tuesday. I'll keep on analyzing the markets and see what happens next. Thanks for joining me. I think I'm going to have to change my timing because I need more. I think I need more interaction to keep me awake. I guess RH, you're doing a good job, but yeah, I'm not really tired now. That 30 minutes was amazing. It was paradise. All right, have a good day. Have a good rest. See you.